Hello singers, thank you for joining me again on the third episode of The Vocal Nerd. I don't know, does the vocal nerd work? I think the vocal nerd kind of works because I'm a bit of a nerd and I'm vocal, as in I'm constantly having to scale back how much I just talk on the episodes. And I'm also a nerd about voice science and the voice. So I think the vocal nerd, TVN, and then I can call my episodes TVN TV. I don't know, let me know what you think. But our subject for today is becoming a student of your voice. To me, this is the switch from becoming a student of a teacher. I think it's an important switch for two reasons, and the first one comes down to repeatability and consistency. When we hear our voices, we hear it very differently than we hear everyone else's voices, don't we? And you've probably heard from teachers over the years that, yeah, that sounds ugly to you, but to me, that sounds great. Xerox that. So the challenge we have then as singers is how do we know what exactly we did? Because what we heard in the voice studio and the teacher said it sounded great is not going to be what we hear when we're in the car, in the concert hall, or in the shower, or in the recording studio. So how can we become more consistent? Well, I think we become more consistent when we learn to listen to ourselves and hear ourselves on all levels, not just with our ears, starting with our bodies, paying attention to posture. When we stand, if you stand to sing, how does that feel? Where's the weight on your feet? Are you on the balls of your feet, kind of on the middle, on the heels? Are the knees bent? Are they locked? What are your hips doing? How does your head feel on your shoulders? All of these questions. I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong for you in any one of these cases. Sure, I have a preference, but this is more about you learning and paying attention to what you did that sounded good on the level of body. Also, on the level of breathing. Where do you experience the breath in your body? I went into a little more detail on this on episode 2. But where do you feel it? And how did you experience it when your teacher said, Xerox that? And then perhaps the most important one is vibrations. Sound is vibration. And we have a bunch of different resonating spaces in our body. In fact, right now when I'm talking, you might say that I'm in chest voice. And maybe what we mean by that is that the trachea tends to vibrate. If I put my fingers right here on my throat when I'm speaking, I can feel a vibration. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I can feel the vibration in my trachea without even putting my fingers on it. But we talk so much, we tend to ignore the sensation. Higher up in the scale, there might be vibrations anywhere from the larynx up into the oropharynx, nasopharynx, the nasal cavity. Any of those spaces may be in play depending on the frequency of the note you're singing, consonants you might be forming, and vowels that you're shaping. I want to just demonstrate this real quick with a simple scale that we'll sing over twice like this. We're going to do it the first time on mo, the second time on na, and it'll sound like this. Mo, 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 na, 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 na. Now, I feel the vibrations in quite different places inside the mouth area. Now you try it and see what you can feel. First time on mo, second time on na. Then na. Notice the difference? I'm sure you do. And so when we put together the vibrations that we're experiencing together with how our breathing mechanism is feeling to us along with our posture, we can build a pretty solid map of what works for our bodies and what doesn't. And then when we have a good day or we have a bad day, or we're suddenly in the concert hall or we're on stage and there's loud monitors blaring all kinds of things, we're not lost going, I don't sound like myself, because these sensations will be the same wherever you go, whatever you do. And now the second part to becoming a student of the voice, to me, comes down to taking ownership of your own vocal instrument. I think I kind of gave away ownership of my voice to teachers for quite a long time and accepted whatever they gave me as something that had to work for me. I would sing whatever they gave me, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But I really wasn't paying enough attention to my voice to figure out when it was working and when it wasn't. And so I've allowed myself to become curious about my voice, assuming that my voice is my own, unique and different from anyone else's. And so although my teacher provides me absolutely invaluable feedback, I remain the expert on my own voice. And together with a teacher, we work out the best, the most pleasant or whatever tone we're looking for. This also removes the need to impress the teacher. I know I've spent a lot of time trying to make sure I sound good in voice lessons, making sure my voice doesn't break, doesn't crack. And now I can allow myself to be curious. What happens if I try to take this scale to a high A? Maybe it'll sound terrible. Maybe I'll find some new release. Who really knows? And so I've allowed myself to become mindful of my vocal instrument, own my vocal instrument, and become curious about it. And I think this concept, more than any other, has allowed me to really move my progress forward at a much faster rate. And maybe if you try it, you may find the same for you. If you do, let me know. I would be very curious and very interested in knowing your journey. If you think it's helpful for you to move from being a student of a teacher to being the student of your voice, with the teacher being one of the tools in your toolbox that you use to learn about your own voice. If you liked this video, hit the like button, share the video, send it to your friends. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, send me a direct message on Facebook or on Instagram. Or you can comment on this video on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram. I'm working on putting up a website right now, but it's not done. When it's done, I'm going to post that address underneath the video on all the platforms. You can just go on there, hit the contact button, and get in touch that way. I'll let you know when that's live as well. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy singing.